Hello, my friends. This is GME, GameStop, for July 2022. It's currently June 20th, 2022, 7:06 p.m. So the overall theme and behavior for the month of July is going to be sideways fluctuations with a bullish trend to it. So kind of like this. All right. There's going to be at least one significant shoot higher to like a pop to the upside, like a big move. At least one significant, looks like somewhere towards the middle of the month, within the second or the third week. The end of the second week, maybe? We'll have to see here. Behavior on the high, we're going to have a big move to the upside that happens out of being oversold. There's on a 1 year or a year to date chart, the low or lows for GameStop in the month of July are going to be like a notable fake out. And there'll be some deception around the high as well. What that means, yet to see. I'll have to look further into it. All right, so on the first, some more here. So it looks like we have a higher high on in August than we do in July, and it looks like we had a lower low in June than we're gonna have in July. And guys, I say looks like because I didn't do a reading for June. I haven't looked at June for 2022. I've strictly looked at July, and what I'm seeing is a lower low in the prior month. So a lower low in June than we'll have in July, and a higher high in August than we have in July. There's an important trough, or a bottom, we should say, on the first. One local low and two local highs, and what that means is that a local high, what I mean by local high is like on a 1 day chart. If you're looking at a 1 day chart for the first, you'll see two prominent crests or peaks or highs or whatever you want to call them. Same thing goes for the one local low. You'll see one notable low on a 1 day chart. So when I say local, that's what I mean, looking at a 1 day chart. One of those highs is going to form after an important move. An important move in the midst of a decline, that it's actual opportunity to open up a position on the long side. Out of the low, there's going to be the local low. There's going to be a big move to the upside. It looks like by the 5th, we're higher. By the 5th, we're already higher than we were in June. And there's negative headwinds on the 5th. There's definite negative headwinds. With that said, it still moves higher, and it moves significantly higher on the 5th. There's a trade opportunity towards the end of the day on the 5th. On the 6th, an agreement between two leaders or a merger of some kind is highlighted. And then we have a bounce off of a support level, looks like between the 6th and the 7th, where there's an important low. This may be the month's low, the July low on the 7th. Looks like we have a bounce off of support, and we travel higher. Like on the end of the 6th, we drop, and then we travel higher there out of it. And we break through on the 7th, we break through two diagonal trend lines, important diagonal trend lines that give us a bullish idea. But what happens on the 7th is we meet a resistance level that's an important resistance, and we decline with increasing volatility as we move into the day. So a lot going on that day, a lot of volatility on the 7th, and a prominent trough, likely the month's low, but a prominent trough on the 7th. On the 8th, we have a pop. On the 8th, we have sideways fluctuations. There's a sideways S formation between a resistance and a support that takes place. on the 8th, and we go from the resistance or through it as that price level as support possibly, but we go from that price level down to support, reverse off support, go back to that price level which we reverse off of, acting as resistance, and then we go back down to the same price level that we were just using as support. So it's kind of like a down, up, down, or two downs with an incline in between, and sideways fluctuations will also be prominent in there, within like a smaller sideways fluctuations in the middle. Let's say so, two declines and the incline there on the 8th, and the incline is going to be sideways fluctuations. We have an important trough, an important crest, peak, or it looks like most likely this is one of the months. This is an important high, a prominent high or crest for GME for the month of July here on the 11th. Looks like out of a decline or a gap down, we have a big push to the upside early in the morning. Yes, and somewhere there's a trade opportunity in there, somewhere in the midst of some sideways fluctuations with a bearish trend to it. That's an opportunity to open up a long position, and then around the local high on the 11th is an opportunity. Well, matter of fact, I shouldn't say an opportunity to sell, but there's a trade opportunity there on the 11th, and possibly a day trade opportunity there on the 11th. We'll have to look closer at that day on a local reading. On the 12th, we have a big move to the upside to meet a resistance level, a distant resistance level, if you will, when relative to other behavior on the chart. There's a trade opportunity in the midst of that big move to the upside. It looks like the beginning of a rally there. Looks like we do kind of like a poke higher, and then a higher high on the 12th than we had at the end of the day on the 11th, but then we come down to there's another crest, but it's lower there on the end of the 12th. Overall, a very bullish day, the 12th, and a trade opportunity as well. So we have a swing trade opportunity so far here. I already spoke of a couple of day trade opportunities, but there's a swing trade opportunity in here between the 11th and the 12th. Looks like we would probably start low, very low, notably low on early on the 11th. Looks like the prominent crest it's even higher. There's a higher peak than the 11th there on the 12th, just to be clear, and possibly on the 13th. It's hard for me to determine. It's a little kind of like clouded there, but there's a trade opportunity in the midst of that high, obviously, and a trade opportunity, it looks like, at the beginning of the 13th, so possibly another high visit of the high there. But there's a notable decline off of the local low, notable decline on a 1 month chart. For the 13th, there'll be a notable decline, and a trade opportunity. Looks like I want to open up some protection there. Multiple failed attempts to break through key resistance on the 14th. Multiple failed attempts to break through key resistance. Multiple failed attempts to break through key resistance, okay, on the 14th. On the 15th, off of the local low, we have a big decline. That decline is through an important price level. Looks like the decline really picks up. Either starts at the end of the day or really picks up steam at the end of the day over the weekend, gaps down, and there's a cash-in opportunity at a low there on the 18th. That should be in purple. All right. So there's an important trough or a gap down there on the 18th. There's a definitive decline here on the 15th. Looks like the 13th, 14th, 15th. Well, we test the high, the resistance on the 14th a bunch, but we break through an important price level on the 15th. A lot of power in this decline, and it continues over the weekend. Looks like we don't revisit that high that we fell from, or that crest or price level that we fell from over the weekend. Looks like we don't revisit that at least for a few days. more decline on the 18th with that cash in opportunity at a low. And that would be for those puts, I'd say, on the 13th. I purchased puts around the early on the 13th, it looks like, or around this high here. All right, we have one local low and two local highs on the 19th. One of those local highs, so the overall theme and behavior for that 19th there is going to be a failed attempt to break through key resistance followed by a decline through key support. And there's a big move to the upside off of the low, however, off of the local low. And out of the local highs, there's a notable decline that increases in momentum as we move forward in time off of one of the local highs. From the before or near one of the other local highs is that opportunity, an opportunity to open up a long position in the midst of a decline. On the 20th, we have a notable decline, selling or profit taking from an overbought peak or crest on the RSI, and that'll form with one local low there on the 20th. It's moving higher along a diagonal trend line, breaking through horizontal resistance, meeting a second resistance, and then pulling back to somewhere between those twos. And from that local high, there'll be a big profit taking there. However, it is possible. There's a quick high here on the 18th, a brief high. It looks like we very easily missed as an opportunity, but it does look like we have a higher high. By the time we reach the end of the 21st, we have a higher high. That's a prominent move to the upside, guys. There's a big move to the upside on the 21st. It's also correlating to the star card. Yeah, that's likely that big move higher that's crossing the chariot card, the star card here, secondary theme card, and it looks like from this big move to the upside, I want to open up protection. I think we have the high there. Yeah, I think the high is there on the end of the 21st. In the midst of that big move to the upside, there's another important crest or high for the month. Not necessarily the highest high because I'm really sensing that's most likely here on between the 11th and the 12th. However, it could be the same. It's an important trough or crest here on the 21st at the end of the day. And then we have three failed attempts to break through three pokes through key resistance. Three pokes through an important price level, I should say. Three pokes through important price level with a big decline after the third poke. And that's the overall theme there on the 22nd. A trade opportunity, a swing trade opportunity there on the 22nd in the midst of some sideways fluctuations with a bearish trend that precedes a rally. Another big notable move higher either over the weekend or some point somewhere on the 25th. We failed to break through a key resistance level, and then we fall through an important support level after a big move. It could be a gap up over the weekend or a big move somewhere there on the 25th. But remember, we fall from failed resistance on the 25th. More sideways fluctuations with a bullish trend that precedes a decline. I left that out of the theme. So that's one thing about the chariot cards. It's sideways fluctuations with a bullish trend, but it also indicates that incline is preceding a decline. And so we have an incline preceding a notable decline here on the 26th. And we move higher through resistance, and then we stay there briefly, and we fall back down through support. From the peak on the 27th, a big move to the upside on the 27th, and from that 27th, we have, from that move to the upside, that's an opportunity to short, it looks like. If I didn't already do so, or if I feel to do so again. If I didn't already do so on the 21st or 25th, and I choose to do so again. But that's a prominent, important moment. That unicursal hexagram is a prominent and important moment there. An important price level that we reach after a sharp move to the upside. A big pop here on the 28th. Reach an important price level, technical level. That's important to notate because it may be of particular interest moving forward, at least into the next month, since this is the end of the month. And then we have the revisiting of a past problem with a flight to safety on the 28th. Looks like a pretty notable move lower on the 29th. A flight to safety on the 29th there, and a pretty notable move there, guys. It looks like into a low or a prominent reversal the first day I sense of August. I haven't looked at the August cards, but that's my sense. That's what I'm picking up. And August sneak preview is a really important. It's a prominent decline. There'll be a steep decline on a like multi-day chart or on a year-to-date chart or a one-year chart. There'll be a steep decline in the month of July or in the month of June, off of a high that's higher than we have in July. Also, that decline will mark an important opportunity to open up a long position too. All right, guys, that's GameStop for July 2022. Let me know what you think. Thanks for watching this. We're back on. I feel fully functional again after my COVID break. So we're gonna be dumping a bunch of July stuff over the next few days, guys. Look out for the dailies. If you haven't signed up for the mailing list, our free mailing list on the website, tarotfortraders.com, guys, go do that. It's free. You get the 1 month overview of the S&P 500 before everybody else for free. So go do that. Also show support. But most importantly, my guys, when you make money from this reading, pay it forward. And I'll see you on the next one, my friends. Hit that like button if you want to see more GME.